hit a car, see what happens, push in the car. He's underneath that flyover ramp. Can you get over the top? Can you get on the freeway, Kevin? Got to get over. Well, as you mentioned, it's a high-speed chase. There's no doubt about it. We first got the call. The chase began down there off of 288 and 45. And as you can tell, we've now back up on 45, the Gulf Freeway, heading inbound toward downtown Houston. There we're just getting ready to pass. This is Telephone Road. And so we're heading inbound. And let me put up the speedometer here and let's see how fast we're going. It's a good rate of speed. Right now at about 100 miles an hour. They did run into some traffic. They were off of 610, the south loop, went over to the east loop, exited Broadway and did a U-turn, ran into a back of a car at Broadway over there, and we followed them. That car did manage to get out of the way, unfortunately, so police were not able to apprehend this suspect. And as you can tell, we continue to move northbound on 45, the Gulf Freeway here, at a pretty good clip. Now we're going to get into some traffic down here as we approach the 59-69 split. Obviously he's trying to lose the police by dodging them there at that exit ramp, and we're going to see which way we go here. It looks like we're headed into the downtown Houston area. There's going to be another split down here that's going to either take us back onto the 59-288 or into downtown. Not sure which way we're going to go, obviously, but high-speed chase here as we approach the downtown Houston area on 45, the Gulf Freeway.
Time of day, and this is where the interstate gets very confusing, right? Because you're trying to exit one way. People are already by nature weaving in and out of traffic trying to find their exit. And then, of course, you have another exit that has been taken here. So you're headed in toward 45, and they've taken 59 already, as you saw them on that ramp. So whether or not they're going into Southwest Houston or up toward downtown, you're going into the most congested parts of the city right now. And people, as you see, they don't have another lane to get over.
Right. And I mean, obviously, a lot of these drivers don't know what's happening. They don't know what is occurring right around them. Hopefully, those police sirens are giving them a heads up, because we have seen people pulling off to the side just to try to let all of this mess get around them, as opposed to getting hit. Because as Don just said, this person has already hit someone.
Yeah, we know this guy's reckless, obviously, because he's in a high-speed chase. But as Don noted earlier, he hit a car on Broadway there. Around I-45 and the East Loop there. So we know that he's not afraid to hit other cars in trying to get away from cops at this point. Right,
and weaving through the very thickest part of the city right now, you just saw the HPD helicopter cross our viewpoint there. So they are in close proximity as we are as well. And I thought I saw them pass by the Metro rail, which gets even more dangerous and confusing.
Right. You've got pedestrians out around those rail lines as well, which is scary. And I think that we just moved over to a different
right. We saw this
here.
Sure, the sign for peace and emancipation right now. Now we have SkyMap technology up showing us that we are on the near east end, kind of the Edo part of town.
Okay.
That's right beyond the University of Houston, but still not quite into the heart of downtown. You're crossing the rail lines that run through the east end. And so at this point, you see them moving on. Yeah, this is right through the east end, what we know as Edo.
And, this is obviously this guy's just, or girl, I shouldn't say, either one. They don't really know exactly what they're doing at this point because downtown's not an ideal spot to be going if you're trying to elude police.
Entered downtown right now. You saw them pass over Chartres, past 59 Jackson Street, now near the Toyota Center.
Yep, we're getting very close to downtown. We also know these are areas where there's a lot of pedestrians. These are very low speed limits, lots of intersections there, certainly not meant for any kind of high speed traffic. Right now, this driver is just catching a break because it's surprising to see very little traffic because we're right outside of downtown where it hasn't really picked up. We just passed Austin and Leland right there. There's Caroline Street, but weaving their way just on the east side of downtown.
So the real concern here at this point, too, is you have a lot of one-way streets. So at moments, we may not see a lot of traffic. We don't know for sure if he's going the right way on some of these streets. It might provide an opportunity for him to turn, but only because you're going the wrong way on a road.
Yeah, that cruiser staying right behind this driver, just, maybe 20, 30 feet behind him, not following at a far distance because they are trying to get this driver stopped. At the point where the driver has actually hit someone.
He's going the opposite direction right now. We're seeing vehicles come his way.
Wrong way.
This could get, well, it's already getting very dangerous. As we know, he's hit one person already, and now he's coming up to busy intersections.
No choice but to stop.
Police are right there. You wonder if some point if they're going to try some type of tactical maneuver on the vehicle. They haven't so far, even though it seems like at times they've had the chance. So maybe they're just going to try to wait this out, but you hate to see this continue when he's going the wrong way down the street.
So at this point, you hope, too, that they might have an opportunity to just close an intersection if they can do that. But, the tactical information they would need in order to do that is just incredible. Like you said, we're in rush hour traffic now.
I see pedestrians.
He's making quick turns, and so it's hard to get ahead a block or two without knowing if he might turn just 50 yards away.
Now, is that Discovery Green
That's City Hall right there.
Okay, yeah.
So that is the, Hyatt Regency Hotel right there downtown.
I see, yes.
They're right across the street from police headquarters.
Right. I mean, they have certainly the manpower down there. Around downtown, we're certainly seeing a lot of pedestrians on those streets there. Hopefully there's not going to be someone in a crosswalk who doesn't see this coming because obviously this is a very dangerous area to have someone driving at high speeds through here. It looks like on Smith Street now.
Smith Street, so they may be headed more toward the Midtown area at this point, too. But this is also an area where the street lights are essentially timed. You have a lot of people moving in one direction.
Yeah, not going at a really high speed here, just trying to keep it moving at this point.
And I get this, we really can't get up to high speeds right here. He's hitting congested intersections that he's not having the light for. And here we are going the wrong way once again. In an effort to try to lose police here. Kudos to Don and the pilot here because this is very hard to follow this chase in downtown with all these skyscrapers we're dealing with at this point.
All right, we've come out the other side. And Don, you've seen how many wrong way streets this person has been taking as we now kind of leave those the most congested part of downtown and starting to open up a little bit here. There's Maine.
Yeah, and this is not going to end good because too many wrong-way streets, too many cross streets here, and he's going to wind up hitting somebody, and that's going to be the end of the chase. We're having a real hard time, obviously, because we're having to wind our way through all of these buildings in the downtown Houston area, and we also have HPD up here with us, so they're currently below us, so you have to bear with us around these buildings. It's the best that I can do to keep up with this chase because I have never seen so many turns in my life. We did see the driver, he rolled down the window at one point, and the window may still be down, but it's truly a unique chase. There's no doubt about it. I've never been through one in the downtown Houston area.
And Don, I think it's amazing, too, the way the map immediately generates so that we can see where he is, because without it, we would really be clueless due to the similarity of all the streets and the quick turns that he's taking now at McKinney and Travis.
Elisa, that's exactly right. There's so many turns and so many streets that he's maneuvered on. It would be impossible for me to name them all off as quickly as we're passing all of these streets and making all these turns. Obviously, we're at quite an altitude here. We're actually right above the chase itself and all of the buildings in the downtown Houston area. Our pilot today, Kevin Yip, he is doing a magnificent job maneuvering all of this, keeping track of all the buildings, the chase, and the police helicopter below us. So it's quite a job that he's doing, and commendable at that.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Every time we think this driver is stuck, they manage to get through. They manage to weasel their way right through different vehicles, going up on, right in between or on sidewalks, and just continuing even down those wrong ways.
And Don, I also wanted to ask you, you've covered so many chases in your time. We were talking about exactly the thought process behind police right now. You've seen police at some point intervene in these chases and try to end it. Can you maybe tell what they're doing right now? It looks like they're simply just following and not getting aggressive at all, and trying to see if they're going to let this play out.
Well, exactly, especially here in the downtown Houston area, because the curbs are so close. People are walking here, cars near these intersections, and it's just impossible to do a pit maneuver. And unfortunately, I've lost them in all these buildings. Kevin's going to try to help me here reconnect with it. But in the meantime, the pit maneuver is really kind of out of the question here right now anyway.
It's very difficult for you all to try to keep up with this as we've been winding. We see all the police cruisers.
Is that the gray vehicle there? Because there's several cruisers.
Perhaps they've surrounded someone.
Yeah, we're trying to locate it here. When it gets behind the buildings, it's impossible for us.
Yeah.
I'll catch up with it here in just a minute. I'm going to have to leave you guys here and coordinate with Kevin and HPD.
All right, we're going to let you get back to that and try to figure out, because there's police cruisers everywhere, so it's very difficult to tell which are actually right behind the vehicle. We did see them all lined up right there at one of those intersections. But, Elisa, as they wind through here, we can also see just how many people are out and about in downtown. This is starting to become a pretty crowded area, and I know I was cringing because I saw 2 or 3 pedestrians crossing the streets.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is the place in the city of Houston where you're going to have the most pedestrians, and at this time of day, a lot of people are starting to leave their offices.
Right, this is close to our historic parks, City Hall, the theater district, where people are coming and going from work at this hour. It's also a popular place to bike through, where you're catching, coming out of Eleanor Tinsley Park and then going through that location through the theater district of downtown. So, yes, it's a little nerve-wracking, more than that, to consider all of the dangers that are in the way and everybody that could be at risk at this point until they can get this driver to stop.
Yeah, and as Don kind of orients himself here to kind of get back to the center point of all this, where this vehicle is and police cruisers are. I want to give you some background in case you're just joining us. We know that at this point, this chase started in southeast Houston. We're being told that Houston police were responding to a disturbance call on Ridge Creek Drive. And when they got there, the man that they were trying to talk to refused to get out of the vehicle right here, the SUV that's being chased, when they got to that address. So they get there for a disturbance call. He doesn't want to get out of the vehicle. He ends up taking off in it. That's when the chase starts. And here we are to southeast Houston into downtown Houston right now. And again, as Don noted, he's already hit one vehicle on Broadway that was near the 610 loop and 45. We're not sure if there were any serious injuries, but he was able to get away from that crash scene as police were chasing him and continue here into the downtown area at this point, where we've seen this vehicle at one point, well, several times, go into oncoming traffic trying to get away from police.
Yeah, and again, we're trying to figure out exactly where all of this led. We were seeing police cruisers on every corner. At one point, we saw this chase go right past the police station. They had all the manpower they needed. And so, there were police cruisers fanned out all across downtown. And so we caught sight of a bunch of cruisers, but it's difficult to tell exactly where the chase went. If you're just joining us, we started this chase that was already in progress right here at the top of our newscast. This started way down at 288 and 45. We do not know why this driver was running from authorities, but this took over quite a bit of the south side of town. going onto the East Loop and South Loop, at some point hitting another vehicle, taking off, and then getting back on 45 inbound, where at speeds of over 100 miles an hour, that driver has made his or her way right here into the heart of our city in what is becoming the heart of our rush hour. So we have a lot of folks out. We are not getting word that this has ended at this point. Let's check back in with Don to see if he's getting any information from police. What are you hearing over scanners right now, Don?
Alona, we've just gotten word that the police have backed off of this chase. They know who the suspect is. Now, you can extrapolate that and figure out what you want on that, but they know who he is. I think that they have figured that is endangering too many people to continue this chase the way that they were. The last word that we had, they were headed down Main Street, and this is Main Street, and I don't see anybody on it. So if this all is true, that HPD has backed off of this chase, and now there is a helicopter up here with us. We don't know whether they still have the chase suspect, but they do know who he is, and so I guess that they felt it was much safer for the public for them just to back off and stop the chase at this point. So until we hear further, we're going to stay over downtown Houston and see what we can hear as far as police scanners are concerned. And as soon as I hear something, I'll be sure and tap into you guys.
Wow, I mean, a pretty incredible call there. It is one that we don't see very often, especially when officers are that close behind a chase suspect. But, you know, you have to say, we saw pedestrians. This was a driver going down wrong way after wrong way after wrong way down these one-way streets. And, you know, this is some video from just a little while ago when we got down to these downtown streets of Houston, making the call to really err on the side of safety and feeling like this driver is less of a threat to the public, letting them go.
Yeah, we could definitely see this. Again, this is the video on your right side of your screen from earlier. And we definitely saw police not being aggressive at all in the chase. They simply kept following this vehicle, even though it was going down the wrong roads into oncoming traffic as well.
All right, unique to this stretch of town, too, is the Metro Rail, the very, very busy red line that runs through downtown to the Texas Medical Center. And so once you have a suspect that's turned onto that busy street, I mean, it's difficult for a person driving at regular speeds to see all of the possibilities for danger, not just with the train, but with people getting on and off the platforms. You would imagine that this is one of those more extreme circumstances when there is a very genuine possibility, because we're not just talking about the interstate where you have plenty of field vision and people primarily in their cars. You have a lot of people walking, biking, and getting on and off rail.
Yeah, now we're getting a little bit more information on how all of this started. We are told that a vehicle, police were responding to a disturbance call on Ridge Creek Drive. I believe this is the information connected to this chase. Right. And a man refused to get out of that SUV when they got to that address. They've certainly had plenty of time to stay right behind that license plate. They know who the vehicle belongs to, and it seems have made the call that they know exactly who that driver is. And you know, they'll be more concerned about catching up with them in the long run and not endangering lives, trying to do it in the short run right through the middle of downtown Houston.
Yeah, if police feel like they already know who this person is what they're saying, you can't argue with their call right here. They're basically saying this guy is not worth getting someone hurt or killed in downtown Houston, either by getting hit by this, by hitting a pedestrian or hitting another car. We're going to back off, and we'll definitely catch up with this person later on.
You know, in the past couple years, our chase policies in HPD have been evolving. You know, we've had so many of these chases that I think that to some extent you learn as you go, and you realize that situations in your city change over time. And Don, I don't know that I recall covering chases where police have been that close to the suspect that they are chasing after, and then making that call that they decide it is safer to let the person go. Do you remember hearing about a lot of cases like that?
Alona, I'm sorry, if you're talking to me, no, I have not. You know, in a chase like this, you have to understand, imagine yourself in a football play and you've got somebody coming at you. You don't know whether to dodge left or dodge right. Police are faced with that when they are chasing a suspect coming up to an intersection.
Yep.
Locked in. Do you actually do a pit maneuver there and endanger the people that are around you? What if the person has a gun? You just don't know these things, and to do a pit maneuver where there is anybody that can get hurt is a dangerous thing, not only for the police, the suspect, but mainly for the public at large. So it's a very tenuous situation when you're out there chasing the suspect, and it's a split-second decision of whether to turn left, to turn right, to do a pit maneuver, exactly what to do. You can just imagine what goes through a police officer's mind behind a chase suspect.
Yep. Well, I mean, it definitely seems like a good call for all those pedestrians who are out in downtown Houston walking out to their cars. And Don, as we wrap this up and we continue to keep an eye on this one, do you know where the police helicopter went? Is it still in the area there?
I'm sorry, say again?
Are you aware of where the police helicopter went? Is it still over downtown?
We have, Kevin, is the police helicopter still up here with us? No, they terminated and they went back to Hobby Airport.
All right. Okay. Well, police chasing a suspect hitting speeds of 100 miles per hour. He goes into downtown Houston. It gets very risky going the opposite way on roads. Pedestrians out as people are getting out of work. Police decide that this person, after they know who he is not worth getting anyone injured. So they back off and will catch up with him, they hope, at some point down the road here.
We'll continue to follow this. We'll be right back after a quick break. It has to be hard when you're in that moment and you're right behind him to just